First and foremost, it is the future. If you are looking into the future today, in a small globalized world, it is not possible for you to talk about the future and you leave out ICT, not least because that is what has happened everywhere else. And we live in the same small village. And consequently, it is not a matter of choice or a matter of debate. It is simply what is happening in the world. They don't know what they are talking about because all those things are also part of ICT. Take, for example, what you have just talked about, health. You know, e-health is one of the best things that can happen as far as the same poor countries you are referring to are concerned. What are our health problems? Capacity, not enough doctors, isolated areas. Now, you can imagine a situation where we don't have enough doctors. With ICT, it is possible for you to do an operation here in Kenya, getting consultants via video conferencing from Johns Hopkins University in the US, or an Israeli university, or any other place in the world. So when they talk about healthcare as being separate or a separate issue from ICT, then frankly, you know, it is two parts of a coin. It's the same coin. You cannot divorce it. Consequently, it is not possible to talk about one without talking about the other, or divorce one from the other. Well, I can't tell you the exact time and hour, but I can tell you it is something that has been simmering in Kenya, you know, at least over the last couple of years, but certainly in the last 2 years, we just made some very bold decisions that this is the way we are going to take ICT, beginning with some legislative framework that we needed. Over the last 2 years, we launched the policy. We are launching an ICT bill. We brought down legislative issues such as international gateway licenses. And these are things that we have just made over the last 2 years. Really, we have made a lot of changes which have impacted, you know, on the ICT area seriously. For example, when you think about it, the price of mobile telephony has come down over the last 6 months or so, 8 months, by 70%. International telephone calls are down by 70%. You know, we were talking about over, in Kenya shillings, 200 shillings, 180 shillings per minute. We are down to 25, 15 shillings per minute. So all these things are decisions that we made quickly and decided we want to take the country in this direction as far as ICT is concerned, and made the decisions to do it. Well, let me put it this way. It's a combination of factors. A combination of the fact that human resource in Kenya, you know, is fairly developed and started demanding that government takes action on this issue. There is also political will that wasn't there before, the political will to make hard decisions and move forward and make quick decisions also as far as some of these areas are concerned. So I think that is a combination of factors. It's a question of the changes in the global ICT environment that demands and make it necessary for us to become part of the wider scheme of things. And also, you know, just the sheer determination that our people now have to move forward on ICT. So I wouldn't say that it is a point X or reason Y. It's a combination of all these things that suddenly, somehow, by some fortune, just came together. Oh, it has not been easy at all, at all, at all. It has not been easy. And I think that the challenges were many. As I said, there was legislative issues and just a mindset. You know, there's a mindset that we had to overcome. For a long time, you know, ICT was looked at as some form of threat to the country. You know, ICT is something that people don't quite understand. A lot of people don't understand what is going on behind a computer, and they fear it. But, you know, the challenges were many. There is a challenge of infrastructure, where you picked up a phone and it just didn't work. You know, so one of the things that I said when I took over this ministry is that I was asked by somebody, what do you see as your first special challenge? And I said, I want to pick up my phone and it works, all right? And I want to pick up my computer and I go into the internet and it downloads. These are some of the challenges that we had. It just wasn't happening. But what has been over the last couple of months, That has changed. You now pick up your phone and it works. And it works efficiently. It doesn't cost you too much. And we are continuing to improve on it. So the challenges are many. We had legislative challenges. We had mindset challenges. We had challenges of image, which we are trying to overcome. When people out there, when you talk about outsourcing and so on, when people out there think about Africa, they don't think about Africa in terms of ICT. They think about Africa in terms of lions, in terms of tourism, maybe AIDS, maybe they are hungry. It's just not a place for ICT. It's just not a place where you send sophisticated and complicated jobs. It's a place where you go to help, not a place where you go to outsource work. So these are challenges, and they are still there. Some of them are still there. We are still overcoming them, but we are determined to succeed. As a country, we have just, over the last 1-2 weeks, in fact, we just launched the ICT board. I told you about the legislative framework. One of the changes in the legislative framework is the creation of institutions that are able to address these things. And we have seen it with our tourism. The tourism in Kenya, the marketing of tourism in Kenya, is done by the Kenya Tourism Board. And we simply replicated this. And last month, we launched the Kenya ICT Board. Now that board, the role of the board is basically to market Kenya as an ICT destination and as an ICT investment destination, very high-powered, supported by the World Bank, supported by the Kenya government. And their role is simply to go out there, sell Kenya, change that image about us being only a tourism destination, an agricultural country, but also an ICT investment destination. And it's working. Oh, as I said, it is going to be an African lion. We talk about the Asian tigers. We talk about the Chinese dragons. Now we are talking about an African lion. But I think it is also important to put this in perspective, that Kenya does not see itself as a lone ranger walking this path on its own. We see ourselves as part of the East African community. So in our movement forward, for instance, when you talk about the optical fiber connectivity, we see ourselves as connecting not just Kenya, but the entire East African region. And even in the investment itself, about a month ago, we called a meeting here in Nairobi, and we called for investors in Rwanda, investors, basically suppliers of telephony, in Rwanda, in Burundi, in Tanzania, in Uganda. The East African countries came here because what we ask our financial arrangers to do is to invite participation from mobile companies and other ICT companies in the region. So we don't see ourselves as just Kenya. We see ourselves as part of the wider East African region. The World Bank has been a serious partner for us in the way forward, and we are just excited, by the way that, the World Bank has come forth, seeing what we are trying to do, and indeed come volunteering to assist us in the process of building Kenya as an ICT country, and also, just spreading the whole ICT world to our people. So I think that we are going to continue being partners with the World Bank, on this issue. Yes, sometimes we will be wanting them to move faster than the current rate, but then again, sometimes they probably will move faster, than we will. So it's a marriage that we see going far into the future. An evolution in progress. I think in summary, I would say that the ICT movement in Kenya is really a revolution in progress. It's such fundamental. It is changing the country so fundamentally and so strongly that it is the only word I can use. Think about it. 2 years ago, it used to be that East African Breweries was the largest company in East and Central Africa. Today, mobile telephony is the largest business in Kenya. Safaricom is the largest company in East and Central Africa. Mobile phones, broadband connectivity. It used to be a company like Telecom Kenya Limited had been written off as a giant that was just going to disappear like dinosaurs did. It isn't. It's waking up. Why is it waking up? Because it's come out with wireless, CDMA wireless technology. This is something happening over the last 18 months that they have just launched. They've just woken up and it's vibrant. And if you go there and you see the excitement in the industry and in the company, you just know that this is a revolution taking place.